Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I am your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me today is adult star, content creator, and a hell of a one at that, the one, the only, Miss Krystal Sparks. How are you, Krystal?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Of course, I will say this, seeing your work and seeing just everything that is provided within your content as well, I gotta say, very sensual, very voluptuous, and just all around great stuff. I love it.
Thank you. I like that.
You're very welcome. I mean, I look at it like this, and I think we'll start it off like this. I think you could concur with me about this. When you look at the adult entertainment industry, it's evolved, it's revolved for many, many years. And I always looked at it like this. It's an art form, much like anything in life. It just depends on the right lens and how you view it. But also at the same time, too, the importance of the adult entertainment industry, especially with the scenes, is the subtleties, the intricacies, and nuances that really make for great storytelling as a whole.
I agree. I agree with you.
So I have to ask you about that too as well, because what we see in adult entertainment industry as well as porn stuff as well, there's niche, there's everything, there's such a variety that comes with it that entails it. But how important to you is storytelling? Because there is some great stuff where you just go right into it, but the stuff that leads to the scenes, it really makes an impact on what the scenes are.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's pretty important. Everyone has their own thing, and that thing is what gets you going. So, if you're into this or that, and there's the story to lead you there, I feel like that story gets you to where you want to be before you hit the finish line, if that makes sense. So, I'm not a man, obviously, but I know that with women, anyways, a lot of it is mental. So, I personally like the story because of that, because again, we all have our certain kinks and whatnot. So if that story backs up that kink, then I'm going to like it. If it doesn't, then it's not going to interest me. So very important. And I try to take the not so much acting, but well, that too, but the storyline in the videos I try to take that seriously because of that, because whoever's watching my videos are watching them because of the story that surrounds it. So yeah, I would say very important.
I look at it like this, and I love how you bring that up. If you look at it in movies from a standpoint, you look at the Rocky franchise. Every Rocky film has an importance, from the first one to Rocky Balboa, even into the Creed series. It's like it would be like if you watch Rocky, but it just goes directly to Apollo Creed and the fights. Like, forget about the backstory and fighting Spider Rico in the beginning, and it just goes right into the fights. You
Where's
have
the build up?
Exactly. You have to have the buildup. And I've always said this, and I can concur with you. I think within porn and when life in itself and the passionate love making and energy, it's moments and memories created, also leading to moments and memories yet to be created. Because what you're doing within your film and the passion and the presentation and precision goes a long way. And that really stands up within films and really makes a lot of timeless moments.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Agree with you 100%. Yep.
And I will say this about you, Miss Krystal Sparks. I also have to put this into fruition. My friend Top Mom, let's talk about it. Sam Shock, y'all, man, I've seen my friend Top Mom since probably 2005, 2006 with women like Lisa Lips, Ava Devine. As a young teenage man, I got to say it perked the interest, so to speak. So to see you in this fine franchise, let's talk about the scene, because goodness gracious, man, great chemistry on screen.
Yes. What would you like to know about it?
Well, I will say first and foremost, let's talk about working with Sam as a whole, because it really goes into fruition. It translates what we get to see on the film. It translates to what we get to see within the series. And also, who doesn't love to really intensify and amplify the mom, the friend's hot mom, and everything that goes into what we get to see within that series?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's really much to say. It was fun. It was hot, and it kind of is right in my niche of stuff. So I think it all falls under me being an exhibitionist. So anything that has to do with, my friend's hot mom, or oh gosh, there's so many I can't even begin to list. Everything I do, it all falls under that same thing. But it's just a lot of fun and turns me on. So that's why I like doing it. But I've never actually done that in real life. So it's very fantasy based. Don't get me wrong. But, I'm still young. Who knows what the future holds?
Absolutely. And I will say this. I've always said this. I mean, to quote the great Mariah Carey, it's like that sweet, sweet fantasy baby, to quote her, an old dirty bastard. I mean, I look at it from a stance like this. The fulfill your fantasy involvement and everything that goes into it, I've always enjoyed, and I'll say this through you. I think you can concur with me on this. We as people, we all have our different uniques, our kinks, like you mentioned earlier, and the preferences. I think that's what makes the great fan base and community of what we get to see with the adult entertainment side of things, because it really brings a lot of people together, for even for the sensual side of things, but just in general, it brings people together. It's that gravitational pull, so to speak.
That's very true. Yes. And I mean, yeah, you said it perfectly. It's we all have our different thing as mentioned, and it does kind of make us we all know we have that in common, I guess you could say. So yeah, when we have the different expos or whatnot, every person that comes up to me, they are into I wouldn't say the sensuality of it, although that is a big part. But they do like to see that chemistry, and that's important for all involved. So that's definitely one thing we all have in common. I don't think, yeah, I've done quite a few videos now. I'm trying to think back if there ever has been a time where I didn't have some sort of chemistry with someone. And I can't think of it. We all try in the beginning to have a little bit of conversation if we've never talked to each other before. We find something that we have in common, and it's usually we like having sex. So it works out really well in our industry. I am lucky. I am blessed.
Well, I will say this, and I can tell right now, even by seeing it, your personality, it's very infectious. And I got to say this first and foremost, with all love and respect to you, Miss Sparks. I look at it like this: accommodation and comfortability goes a long way as far as being the best representation of your presentation. So I think that goes a long way with talking to everybody and, not making them feel nervous. So there's a lot of really layers and levels to this, so to speak.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been on set before with people I've never met multiple times. I've never worked with, never talked to, nothing. And within, oh, I'd say within the first hour, we're becoming friends. And then after you have someone's cock in your mouth or something, I'm not sure what I can say on here. I assume I can say that. Okay. I like, then you're getting very close very quick. But it does go beyond that because we're all we're all in it together. We're all in the industry. We love the industry. We want to protect the industry. We want to protect ourselves and our friends. So yeah, it naturally you become closer on multiple levels when you're doing all of that together. But yeah, I've been fortunate enough. I've heard stories, but I have been fortunate enough not to experience anything like uncomfortable or bad. Um, I I don't know. Some people say that's because of my personality, but I'm almost 38 years old and I'm just now learning how to really stick up for myself, in the moment, because I don't like controversy. I don't like drama. And so I spent many years of my life trying to stay away from that. But, it kind of makes me think in the moment, um, is that maybe why I'm able to get so close to everyone I work with because I do speak my mind politely. There's never anything rude for me to say so far, but yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy what I do, and I want everyone to enjoy what we're doing, and so maybe that's what makes it so authentic and great. I hear that a lot. People say, "Oh, you're so authentic in your videos," and um, maybe that's why. I don't know. To me, I'm just having fun.
You know what it is too, and I'll add to your point about the authenticity. Authenticity and genuinity goes a long way, and I look at it like this: people can tell. I think people can tell just by the overall body language and everything that you put into the universe and put into your films. I look at it like this because I'm kind of the same way you are. I know what's in my heart. I know what I put out in there. But if you need to speak up, do it in a professional and polite manner. You don't motherfuck anybody. To put it in the bluntest of terms, you're not going to motherfuck anybody or give like
Yeah.
motherfucker or whatever. But the thing too is, to get your point across, you don't have to go to the extreme. You could be like here. You don't need to be like here. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of get misguided because at the end of the day, too, it's a collaborative feature. And also at the same time, too, it does take two to tango. So if you're not collaborating, you're not cooperating, then that can lead to disaster when you want to create a masterpiece as opposed to a disaster piece.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, completely.
So I think that is one of the most integral parts of anything, folks. Just professionalism is key, accommodation and comfortability, and Miss Crystal Sparks over here certainly exudes and exemplifies that. But something I got to say as well, you mentioned the exhibitionist front. I love that as well. Very confident, very empowering, very liberated in how you feel with the sexual side of things. I think that's great. I think in a day and age where something was so taboo back in the day, where the introduction of OnlyFans and many of it's especially now, everything's becoming more normalized. We see a lot of people getting into content creation, adult content creation in specifics. But I look at it from a stance too. It's great to see things being more normalized and letting people just let them be themselves. Very liberating, very enthralling.
Yes. Oh, 100%. That's kind of why I got into the industry, really. I I was raised in a home where sex was not talked about. It was shameful, disgusting, like, and so I was going into my 20s like, wait a minute. I'm a grown woman now, and I feel so uncomfortable still with my thoughts, my sexual thoughts, my fantasies, all of that stuff, and so that is exactly, and I hear it time and time again from talent. They get into the industry to discover themselves more sexually, and to find out what they like and what they don't like, and blah blah blah. And that's how I found out I was an exhibitionist, starting porn. So I was like, oh, I really like this. What is it that I like about it? I like the idea that people are watching me and pleasuring themselves to me. And so, yeah, it all just took off from there. But, yeah.
I respect that a lot, and I think as once you do it, and we not just evolve and evolve as people. I look at it like this from the sexual side of things, like for myself included, and everybody listening. Like with what I was into when I was like 18 to the 20 age, and then you get to the mid 20s, and now being 32, going on 33, like stuff just really evolves and it accentuates. And I think that's what's great is trying things new and really exploring what you like and what you're into. And I also look at it from a stance like too. I myself can even equate with you on this. My house was very reserved. I grew up with more not like my parents, but more like I had uncles and aunts and everybody that was very like conservative and reserved, and stuff like that was kind of like a no-no. But at the same time, too, it is what it is. It's a part of life. It's natural. So why not just embrace it?
Exactly. That's what I say. That's what I say now. That's not what I said back then. But now that I have come to accept myself fully, where I am, 100%, it is natural. We're all adults here. If that's not the case, then that's a problem. But we are all adults here in this world, and there should be no reason for us to feel like we're going to be judged or whatever it may be based on going back to the kink thing. Because, yeah, the more and more people I talk to about that, they feel like, oh, maybe they have kinks because of some traumatic experience, or maybe they have kinks because of this or that, and good or bad. Unfortunately, I mean, it's like, I'm sorry that stuff happens to some people. I went through my fair share of things. And maybe that's why it was a little hard for me to accept my kinks, because you look back and you're like, wait, is there something wrong with this? No, it's how your brain is now. It's who you are now, no matter how you got there. And so I'm very grateful for OnlyFans mini vids, the industry becoming more normalized, as you mentioned, because if it wasn't for that, I don't know where no one would have Krystal Sparks.
Well, I'm gonna say we are very glad to have you, ma'am, and doing your thing. And I look at it like this: you're welcome. But no, I always put this into perspective because I look at it from a stance like this. If you're a podcaster like myself, and I've always gotten this question, I'll say this to you: like, why would you want to interview people in the adult entertainment industry? The rightful answer to that, and that goes with anything, is like, why not? Because number one, everybody has a story to tell, and number two, if you really get down to the nitty gritty of it, it's fascinating, it's cool, it's awesome, it's sexual, but also at the same time too, you never stop learning. And that's what I have always found with the adult entertainment industry. You never stop learning. We talked about the storytelling part of it, but it's also about being safe and spectacular. Apply your craft safely and spectacular fashion, the importance of testing. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it that really need to be amplified and really exude and accentuated, because the importance of safety is right there in the nitty gritty of it.
Yes, 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 and that's another thing. I don't know how much I could not tell anyone how much I've learned about safety and those other things that go along with the industry that people don't necessarily always think of, that have to go on, backstage in order for us to do our jobs. And I had no idea. I've learned so much when it comes to safe sex and STIs, STDs, and different things like that. I mean, I guess when you have to get tested every 2 weeks, you're you're learning quite a bit. Like, oh, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to get tested every 2 weeks for everything. And so yeah. I think it's a couple STIs, STDs they don't have tests for, in the traditional sense like they do other things. So yeah, oh gosh, that's a whole nother episode for your podcast right there, because you could go on and on. But it's very true. I'm going into my third year professionally in this industry, and sometimes I still feel like I'm a baby, like I'm just now starting out, because I'll be on set and someone will say, "Oh, we need to do this or do that," and I'm thinking, "Oh no, how do you do that?" Like, oh, learning something new every day. But oh yeah, anything from camera angles, how to open up to the camera, how to communicate with different types of people, without coming across in the wrong way. Um, just meeting, I've met people from all over the world in this industry, and there's a different type of person. Any type of person you could think of is involved in this industry in one way or another. So it's kind of a whole new world.
I like how you put that, because I think from the east side to the west side, no diggity, no doubt, to quote the great. I look at it like this, to put it in perspective in that even most simplest ways. Folks, the traveling part about it too, as well, is what I also enjoy, because again, we meet new people, and networking is so huge, especially in today's social media climate, that it's great. And you get to meet people of all different shapes and sizes and people all over the world. And I've always said this, and I always look at it like this from my perspective with women and how relationships and friendships develop. I can honestly say throughout my dating tenure, like I've dated big women, small women, doesn't matter to me. I think the best part about it is the connections you make, the networking you make, and everything that goes into fruition there, because we have a lot of great people, and I include yourself in these sentiments as well. But I include people like you and many people. Like, it doesn't matter the category, doesn't matter the preference. If you connect on that level and you constantly learn, you're golden. But also at the same time too, networking is so important, because some people can be very, apprehensive to message people about scenes or whatnot, but it's all about making the message and making the time of that message and putting it into the universe and manifesting it, so to speak.
That's very true. And you'd be surprised. Well, I was surprised getting into the industry, how many people believe just that, which as far as manifestation and putting good intentions out there. And I've been on set, or I think the first year, it was maybe my third shoot I ever did. Was it my third? I don't know. I was working with Lucky Fate. And he just starts going off about all of this spiritual stuff, and I just looked over at him and said, "Am I really on a porn set?" What? And then I was so surprised, and he just kind of looked at me like, "Yeah, I'm very interested in that stuff." And I was just shocked. And then shoot after shoot after shoot, I'm meeting people who are talking about the same things and very spiritual, or some of them are very religious, with organized religion or just spirituality, or again, there's something for everybody. There's a different type of person that, or how am I trying to say that, or what am I trying to say?
Everybody's very eclectic.
Yes, perfect word, eclectic. Yes, and I love it so much, because again, you're always learning new things, whether it's about a person or a thing or, whatever. It's been a journey, and I cannot wait. This is only my third year. I cannot imagine what the next 5, 10, 15 years are going to be like, but it's going to be a wild ride, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about life is adventure. And I mean, I just have the mental image now, and I didn't mean to laugh, but I got to put it out there. Just like you're on the set, and he and the gentleman speaking about spirituality and just manifesting, put into the universe, and just and you know what it is too. It can be something that's very uncommon, and you hear that because okay, we're on a porn set, we're about to make an adult film, so it's like what is going on here? But I also look at it from a stance like this too. I think if you look about it and people how you act, being evoking emotions and eliciting reactions, that comes with film and any art form. I look at it like this. You're also thanking God and you're blessed, like you mentioned, your many blessings as well. It's a blessing to do what you do, but I also think it's a blessing to know that you have the ability and the power to not only evoke emotions, but you have the ability to do anything, not only that you set your mind to, and it's very cliche, but it's so very true. You have the ability to really, again, we talk about that sweet, sweet fantasy baby. It's to fulfill that fantasy. So there's so many layers of what you can be doing that entices people. And if you entice, boom, you're right there.
Yeah, and that alone right there makes for a better scene too,
Right.
because you're getting to know the other person on a bit more of a personal level that is not in any way related to sex. Um, but isn't that how we all get closer? I feel like if I just walked in on a set and I had never met him before, I mean, I don't know if you've seen that scene. If you haven't, you should watch it.
All right. Very nice.
Perfect, amazing, beautiful, such a great scene. And it was because I feel we sat there for about an hour, 2 hours while we were getting ready, doing paperwork, all that stuff, having a conversation with each other and just getting to know a little bit about each other. And then we're more comfortable. We realize, oh, we have more in common than we thought. I find that happens just about every time on set. So yeah, it makes for a really hot scene too. When you're like, what? Why are we talking about this on a porn set? But okay, let me.
Hey, it makes some of the best BJs and the most sensual scenes. I understand completely where you're coming from.
Yes, talk about manifestation some more. That's
Well,
anyways.
no,
Yes.
you're totally fine. I'm gonna put a mental image into people's head, including your head. Think of Zach and Mary make a porno. Yes, I'm going the Seth Rogen, Elizabeth Banks route. When they're filming the scenes because they want to keep the store open and the store is closing, they don't want to go out of business, so they're trying to find a way to make money. You see when you get to Seth Rogen as Elizabeth Banks scene. Now they're characters in the movie. They're roommates. They've known each other for years. They work together, so they have that kind of bond. But they're also kind of afraid to say that they like each other, but also at the same time too. Man, once they get on that screen, is magic. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably one of the best parts of the porn that they're shooting. So think of it like Zach and Miri almost.
That's a great example. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You have to put that into fruition. And I got to say, speaking of things into fruition, folks, not only does this woman electrify an enticing night on the movie side of things, but you got to put over this imagery here, man, because my goodness gracious, she can rock the lingerie better than anyone I've seen, doggone it. Man, I love the lingerie pics, but something that really sticks out into my mind, man, the doctor, the anatomy side, bad case of loving you, doctor, give me the news. Let's put this into fruition here, Krystal Sparks. The anatomy lesson is absolutely awesome at number one, but number two, you rock the doctor thing, man. I like it. You really kicked that butt on it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's that's a new thing that I'm doing, so I'm glad you like it. There's going to be much more, but yeah, I just did that really. It was a 5-second decision because I'm thinking I've been focusing so much on my professional stuff with shoots. I've kind of been lacking in my, content in the content area. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to just do solos the whole time. I find that kind of boring. If that's someone's thing, do your thing. But for me, I want it to be, I don't know, something a little bit more than me laying down on the bed, you know, and then, 5 minutes later, we're done. So I just was looking through my closet and I'm like, okay, I need to make this many videos for this week. I want them to be more entertaining. I saw the outfit and just like, okay, I guess everybody likes the school teacher thing. I don't want to do the school girl outfit with a school teacher because that doesn't make any sense. And we're trying to, I'm a little older, so I try to stay away from the school girl outfit as much as possible. But so yeah, I just decided to do that. I grabbed a notebook. I sat down and I thought, now what? And I just went with it. It just came out of my mouth like, okay, well, um, we'll just go with this. And I wasn't even really planning on using it. But my manager said, he's like, this is gold. What do you mean you aren't planning on using it? He's like, no, 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 no. You need to do things like this. And so we kind of came up with a thing where we're going to try it. It's kind of like, it's a lot like mainstream porn where it has a storyline, you know? So I think that I think people will like that because of what you mentioned earlier in the very beginning of us talking with the storyline and building people up. So, okay, so we'll do the school teacher one, we'll do a nurse one, a naughty nurse one. And so I'm going to try for a couple months. We'll see how it goes. But every video, dress up as something different. Star Trek. I'm a huge Trekkie. I gotta get that one in there. I have 3 different Star Trek costumes. I have to figure out which one will work best for that, but so excited. And so, yeah, I have so many different costumes and stuff from just being in the lifestyle and going to themed parties, you know. I have a construction outfit. We're gonna work that in somehow, but yeah, it was fun, but I wasn't expecting to even use it. So it does like come as kind of a shock to me that I've gotten such amazing feedback from it. Like people love it. So far so good.
I will say this first and foremost. You got to stop with that. I'm older now. You look great. You absolutely look fantastic. You stop that right now, man.
Well, thank you. Okay, I will.
Very
My
well.
birthday is in like 2 weeks, so
Hey, man, I
it's
got it.
hitting me a little harder.
Hey, I get it. My birthday is April 13th. I'll be the big 3-3 coming up in a few
Oh,
weeks.
mine's April 6th.
Right on, man.
Very
Okay.
close. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Uh, Thank you so much, and to you as well. And now you're welcome. Now let's put this into fruition here. Like you mentioned, the hot nurse type of vibes here. I'm going to put an image into people's head, and I'm going to put an album cover for people. Think of Blink 182, Enema of the State, the "What's My Age Again" music video where they're all running around naked, and that's about the time that she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23. Think of the nurse, the girl woman on the cover of that, and the nurse that you see when they're running naked in the movie. Think of like that type of image vibes to it.
Now I'm turned on. I think I have a picture very similar to that. Someone said, "Oh, you look like the nurse on Blink 182's cover." I don't know if I could pull it up right now, but
It'll be in the show. I'll put the little. I got it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But that's a great idea and very hot idea. I like that.
Well, I mean, I'll look at it like this. Pamela Anderson, right? Pamela Anderson is one of the most gorgeous women ever. I mean, Internet Babe of the Year. She's been doing her thing. This will be another obscure reference for people, but I think y'all can take this ride with me. So, Lit. I'm talking about the rock group Lit, my own worst enemy, because every now and then I kick the living shit out of me. One of their other songs that they had that was very popular on the time was "Miserable." You make me completely miserable.
Yep.
Pamela Anderson is the gigantus who's in the video that like eats them at the end, like they're running for him. It's like a Godzilla meets gigantus type of vibe. And what she was rocking in that video, my goodness gracious, y'all! I certainly, I know it's 25 years later, but I would certainly go back and watch that music video. Hotness.
How? Where did 25 years go?
I know. I can't myself, man. TRL, Carson Daly, bring it back. Let's go. But no, I'm right there with you. Even saying that just makes me just irk. Like, it hurts right here in the soul. It hurts right.
Well, you know what? I'm just glad it's all still living on because
True.
The generations that came after us, they're still listening to that music. And I mean, I have people come to me and they're like, "Oh, have you heard this new song?" Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, honey, that is not new. That song came out in the late 90s or, early 2000s. But yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't feel like it's been 25 years.
Look at it like this. The generation that came out after us, right? A lot of them don't even know that Justin Timberlake was in NSYNC. Think of it like that. On the pop side, they just see Justin Timberlake, the solo act. They weren't even born for NSYNC, the Tearing Up My Hearts and the Here We Goes and the, God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You. Bye, bye, bye. Like, come on, they don't even know about that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna cry now. We're gonna have to do better teaching them. I guess we're gonna have to do better. But yeah, good times, lots of great memories you just brought back to me. And I'm 100% doing the Blink 182 hot nurse thing. In fact, when we're done here, I might just shoot it.
Well, you're welcome to put the creative juices going in your head, ma'am. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, I like that. You're good. You're very good at that.
I will say this: you better stop quit playing games in my heart. Number one, but also number we'll to another topic. I do have to bring this up. First and foremost, you've been doing your thing with Lala Tada and Sophie Marie and so many great women. I got to ask you about these because Lala, very sensual in her own right. Same with Sophie. Talk about these two combustible elements and overall dynamos, much like yourself that you work with. Talk about Lala and Sophie.
Yes. Oh, well, Lala, what is there not to say? All the good things. She's the sweetest woman I think I've ever met in my life. Um, she's just I know she's not always happy because none of us are always happy,
Right.
but man, whenever I see her, whenever I talk to her, she is just vomiting positivity. She's just so happy and nice to everyone. She's so cute. But I did get the pleasure of actually we work out together, I should say. We know each other quite well. We have the same personal trainer, and we've been with him for I think about the same amount of time, a year and a half. We've compared notes with different things here and there, but we did get to shoot with each other one time, and it was talking about taking me back. It kind of had the vibe of like college girlfriends, like messing around for fun, like we were friends, we were close, but it was also so like sexy and hot. So it worked out so well. But yeah, we haven't gone to work together in like the professional sense, but um I think it worked out perfectly just the way it did because we are close. And so maybe we might not get too much done on the professional front, is what I mean. Joking around and laughing and talking. The director would be like, okay, shut up and get over here. But yeah, love Lala Tada. If anyone ever has the opportunity to shoot her, work with her, whatever, she's professional, she's fun, she's lovely, she's all the good things. So definitely do that. Yeah, there's nothing bad you could say about Lala. Nothing.
And the same goes with like Sophie too. And I think what I also equate them together with you, again, very, and I'll say this first of all, beast mode over here. We're going to get into that in a second here, but I look at it from a stance too. It's the positively proactive side of things that I like because y'all are all up in the mix, number one, but also number two, you know how to get the creative juices flowing and have fun, which is a huge component to anything as far as an adrenaline rush and get the endorphins flowing, so to speak. But this one over here, folks, if y'all have not checked out the social media, not only are you styling and profiling and the elegant side of things, man, but god dang it, man, beast mode, you're friggin' doing your thing, you're getting the weights going, you gotta put that over, man. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I really just do it for the butt, but I mean, I got some muscle going on here, but and it is interesting lifting really heavy things, and now like thinking, oh, this isn't heavy at all. So there's the health things to it too. But I started working out because I had no bum, I had no butt, and yeah, my trainer put Body by Anthony on Twitter. I think I just tagged him on one of my posts, but um he's added about 6.5 inches to my rear end in the last year and a half, 2 years, something like that. But, and I love it. I love it so much. But, yeah, it's important. I hate to say it again, but sorry, I am getting older. And as that happens, we don't maintain our muscle tone quite as easily as we did in our 20s. So, yeah, you've got to work hard at anything, and having a nice body is definitely one of those. But
So
yeah, it's a sense of accomplishment too. I really like being able to push like 300 pounds, be like, oh, I did that. I'm 108 pounds and I just did that. And then you see some big man try and do it, and it's like, oh, is that hard? No, just kidding.
it's like Robert Frank once said, swallow's the goal, size is the prize, it's gains o'clock, motherfucker, let's go. I look at it like this from that side of things. So pretty much what you're telling me is, and working on the gluteus maximus side of things, you're going to go from bootyful to beautiful is what you're saying, man. Bootyful.
Yes, bootyful. I like that word, bootyful. Perfect.
Well, I feel you. It's like, all right, we'll go to the country side of things. So pretty much what you're saying is you're working on, there I say, the rump shaker on the rap side of things, little Rex in effect. Then the other side of things, you got the honky tonk badonkadonk. I see it.
That's right. Either way, it's there. The honky tonk donk donk. I like that too.
I
That's I
get
haven't
you.
thought of that song in a while.
Right? I got you, man. I got you. But no, in all seriousness, I think that's wonderful. Not only just staying you're safe and staying in tune. Positively proactive is the way to go, ladies and gentlemen. And I will say the way to go on to this next subject, because this one very interested me and it was very fascinating with it, because you're very multifaceted. I'm going to put this into the forefront here. You're very multifaceted. The biochemist side of things, Miss Vitamin Specialist. So biochemist, the adult entertainment industry, the transition, being multifaceted, have so many layers to you, Miss Crystal
Oh,
Sparks. Talk about this side here, because I'm very intrigued. You have me interested.
oh, well, so before I moved to Vegas, I lived in Kansas. The military took me to Kansas because I'm an Army vet. But after I got out of the military, I am very multifaceted. It's probably a little weird if you really get to know everything, but I'm all over the place. But yeah, so I had a friend who worked for this biochemist more in like the tech side of things for the company. And I was in the medical field kind of getting out at the time because it made me I was getting way too attached to my patients. You have to leave that stuff at work when you go home. And I just can't do that. I get close to people, I get attached, and then I get hurt. Or I get hurt if someone else that I care about gets hurt. So I had to get away from that. So my friend was like, well, hey, we're hiring for a vitamin specialist. Update your resume and send it over. And maybe you'll get the job in Vegas. And I'm like, what? Move to Vegas? Las Vegas? I had never been to Vegas before. Ever. And so he said, yeah, let's give it a try. So I did. I got hired. I moved to Las Vegas. That all happened within 2 weeks, I think, a 2 week period of time. I have always been into like more natural supplements and botanicals, if you will. So it was a good fit. I learned a lot about vitamins and supplements in that job. The biochemist is a genius. I won't give out any names, but he was taking like vitamins and supplements 20, 30 years ago and was getting frustrated with how it's just 99% of the stuff out there sold in stores is complete shit. It's garbage. It should be illegal. And it infuriates me. Now my blood pressure is going to start going up just thinking about it. But they're robbing people. So I was really passionate about it. I decided to move to Las Vegas, and yeah, I did that until past COVID. I was still working that job as a vitamin specialist when I first got into OnlyFans and all that stuff. And then it was because I was making great money doing that, but then I kind of look at it this way: if I'm doing something and then I start doing something on the side and I'm building that, and then all of a sudden this main job over here is costing me money, it's time to evolve, move on. We're going on to the next step. So that's really what happened. I was making great money. I loved that job. I learned so much, but then it was time for the next part of my life, and that was porn.
I respect that wholeheartedly, because again, I love what I do, and there's so many interesting people in the adult entertainment industry. I had a woman on the show by the name of Beth McKenna, and this woman went from being like in the law field, like a lawyer, and then she's like, you know what, I want to do my thing in transition. And I thought I love that, and I admire that, because I look at it like this: you have a great job. There's so many different chapters in this thing that we call life. There's so many journeys. There's so many different paths, avenues, however you want to really define it, so to speak. But if this is what you're feeling, if you want to transition to this or anything in life, and you feel like you're done, and you've accomplished what you've accomplished, then do it. Go for it. I mean, it's a DIY mentality, my friend. It's a do-it-yourself mentality, and you're DIYing it up.
100%. I don't think that life should be lived any other way. We're here to grow and to learn. And once you learn something from this part, I suppose once you get out of it what you were wanting to, why stay there for too long? Because then you become stagnant, and things get boring, and then you're not living and learning anymore. You're just floating, I guess you could say, floating through life. And I have lost quite a few people I love in this lifetime, and enough to know life is fleeting. Um, you better do what you want when you get the chance. Don't let it go by. So yeah, I got this opportunity and I grabbed onto it by both of its horns.
Well, I will say this: within your tenure thus far, going into your third year, man, as they say, three, the triple threat, if you will. So you got triple threat of overall years in the pornage, if you will. But I look at it from a stance here, Miss Krystal Sparks. You also got coming up. Shout out to Chicago Exotica, man. You're going to be there doing the damn thing. Let's talk about it, man, because my goodness, we mentioned the expos, we mentioned the Exotica, the conventions. Everybody's going to be coming up. Everybody's going to be mingling and just having a good time. Talk about Exotica, man. How excited are you?
I'm very excited. I'm always excited, but I've never been before. It'll be my first time. I go to Chicago quite often, but I've never been for Exotica. So Erica, great.
Yep.
She is setting me all up. I don't think we have anything quite finalized yet, other than the fact I will be there. So whether I'm there just floating around having fun or signing at one booth or signing at multiple booths, it's whatever. But it's always good. I mean, it's not just what people say, it's the fact. The more people you get in front of and you meet face to face, that's how people are going to learn about you. Not just, of course, social media helps too, but we all live such fast-paced lives. People are going to those conventions to meet new people and to meet people that they've followed for years or, whatever, however long it might be. So yeah, I just like going and putting myself in front of people, giving my fans. I have several fans going just to see me, and they were just at XBiz, they were just at AVN, and now they're going up there to see me too. So it's just nice. I don't know. It's kind of like, in some weird way, building a porn family. I have these people that they're getting to know me for who I really am, but then they also love what I share online, what I create in professional movies, videos. So that's nice. I like getting myself out in front of people and giving them the opportunity to come and see me. But then also it helps my career, obviously, so I'm taking this seriously. It is my business. So I want to get the most out of it that I possibly can. So yeah, super excited about Exotica. I can't wait to see how it differs from AVN and XBiz, and there seems to be so many of them.
Yeah.
Like another thing, live and learn. I had no idea. I always just went to AVN before I got in the industry. So
I was right there with you as someone who is enjoying the fine adult things of the adult entertainment industry. I even know like HBO, whatever channel was, I always knew AVNs. But yeah, as you get more into it, you learn more about Exoticas and the expos and the conventions. There's something for everybody, man. And that's what I said. There's an audience for everything. And it's wonderful, really, to see.
I love that. That's one of my favorite things about the industry. I will have girlfriends find out what I do, or, whatever. We'll have the conversation and they're like, what do I need to do to get, the first person who ever asked, she said, what do I need to do to get in the industry? And I said, well, do you want to, do you want an agent? Do you just want to do it yourself on OnlyFans first, or ManyVid, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, no, that's not what I'm talking about. She goes, do I need to lose like any weight? Do I need to start working out for like 6 months, get myself toned before? And I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, don't you have to be like a certain way in order to be successful in the industry? And I'm like, no, girl, no, there is something for everyone. And that is my favorite part about it. If I'm not your cup of tea, this one may be, that one may be. If you're not his cup of tea, her cup of tea, it's just find your people. And while you find your people, in my experience, under the umbrella of porn, we're all our people, it's just, we're all into different things and we all represent different parts of it.
Absolutely. First of all, beautifully said and eloquently said. I like your style there. That was absolutely perfectly said. No, but I look at it like that too. I mean, I'll look at it like this. When you talk about people get into the adult entertainment industry, people asking advice about it, look at it like this. It's not like the 40-year-old virgin when Paul Rudd pulls out the VHS and he goes, here it is, Boner Jams 03. These were just some of the scenes I was really into in the summer of 2003. It's not like pulling out Boner Jams 03. It's actually... There's an art. I know it's an analogy. It's a weird comparison, but it applies. So
I love it.
But there's an analogy. It's not just like, here's a videotape or here's this, here's that. It's not like you're just laying there and then, you know what, magic happens. No, it's one of those things where it's everything that goes into it. It's being humble, it's being professional. You're constantly learning and you're constantly on the grind. As they say, the grind never stops, literally and figuratively, depending on how you want to identify that in the adult entertainment world. But also at the same time, too, there's a world for you to explore. Again, sounds cheesy, sounds cliche, but there really is. It's an adventure. And I'll make another quote. I think you'll appreciate this one as well, as I hope the viewers do. Think of George Michael in 1987. I want your sex. Sex is natural. Sex is fun. Sex is best when it's one-on-one. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes. I do appreciate that. I love your brain. You have an interesting one. I like it.
Thank you. No, I'm just being me, and I think that's how you have to look at life. You just have to be yourself. And I've learned, and excuse my language, but I'll put this into the forefront. Sometimes you got to say fuck what people think. It's literally the fuck what you heard kind of vibes. Because as you get older, the fuckometer, as I like to call it, like kind of just expires. You just like the fucks go out the window, and you're just being yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because people are just gonna chop, 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 chop. Fuck them.
Yep, very true. And again, back to life's too short. I don't have time. I don't have time to it. What is it? Someone just, or I read it or saw it somewhere. Oh, someone said, what someone thinks of you is none of your business.
Right.
It's so true. But also, I have no more fucks to give. Like, I've reached a certain age. I'm not 20 anything anymore. That's when I cared so much about what people thought. And you know where it got me? Fucking nowhere. It got me nowhere. I'm just now finding my true authentic self in my 30s when I decided I've given all my fucks away. So I love it. But yes, the industry, it is always an adventure. And I think maybe that's my favorite thing about it is I don't want my life to be boring. I don't want to be on my deathbed one of these days thinking, oh, I didn't really do much that excited me. That is in no way a possibility. If I die tomorrow, I will be like, man, these last 10 years of my life, whatever, have been a roller coaster, and I wouldn't change it for the world, even if it's just the path to some unknown destination, because I don't know where that destination is yet, but
right. And the journey is worth taking. And I've always said this. Look at it like this. Even in your teenage years or your 20s, like you mentioned, it's all about what I like to call the LOA, right? We all want that level of acceptance. Like we're constantly like, we want to do this, we want to be accepted, we want to fit in. But at the end of the day, as we even get into our 30s, like you mentioned, the fucks are out the window, but also at the same time too, it's just like, I accept me for who I am. This is what I like. This is where I am. And this is my path that I'm going on. And I'm going to fucking stay here, to put in the bluntest of terms. And you got to stay on the par for the course.
Yep, I agree. That's this conversation has made me very happy. It's nice to know that that I'm not the only one who thinks that way, I suppose. Being in our 30s, maybe that's what maybe, they say, oh, your 20s is about this or that, or your 30s. I'm doing exactly what I should be doing in my 30s, I suppose. So right on track.
Exactly. And I will say this, look at it like this. It's all in a name. You get sparks. You got the spark. You bring the spark to the room. You bring the spark where you go. Look at it like that.
Yep. That's Sparks was my biological last name. I was adopted. And so they changed my last name when I was adopted, but I got Sparks because I thought it was just perfect. And so it is a name I was born with. So I suppose it fits me quite well altogether.
Certainly does.
It was made for porn.
What I think when we say it's all in the name, it really what amplifies you. It's you, but with the volume turned up.
Yep, turn it all the way up.
Well, I will say this: pump up the jam, pump up the volume, Christian Slater style, Miss Kayla Sparks. I will say this, Krystal. I love everything that goes into everything that we get to see, and I cannot wait to see you on your journey and everything that goes into fruition. We definitely have to do another round 2 for this. I'd love to have you back. This has been an absolute blast.
Yes. Yeah, you ask great questions, and I feel like I got more out of this podcast than what I was expecting to. I feel a little at peace in different areas of my life just from being on this podcast and talking about porn. because again, I guess I'm doing right. I feel now I'm doing exactly what I should be doing, even more.
Agreed wholeheartedly.
So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. And I will apologize. I know I did have a blub there. So I did say Kayla as
Oh,
opposed to Krystal. My apologies. I'll
we
be
have
honest
so
with
many
you.
names going all over our head all the time. I do it.
Okay. That's actually funny. Like when I was, I actually worked, when I used to work in customer service, that was actually one of the girls' name. I had a Sparks that worked in customer service. I used to do a market research. One of my coworkers was a Sparks. So yeah, that memory just popped in my head. So yes.
I wonder if she's on OnlyFans.
Hey. Now there's a brief shout out to marketing back on Long Island, and shout out to Kayla Sparks if you're listening. Anyway, I digress. Now, before we do close this out, you are on an array of social medias. Please, ladies first. It's not just a Queen Latifah song. Promote it. Let us know we can follow you.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I would say X, formerly known as Twitter. That is at Krystal Sparks 87. Now, Krystal is spelled with a K and a Y. KY. The loop. KRYSTAL. So Krystal Sparks. No, I missed the mark on the 3 X's. It's just a K and an S. I'm sorry. That's so boring. But so Krystal Sparks 87 for X, formerly known as Twitter. Instagram is PS as in porn star, Krystal Sparks. OnlyFans is just Krystal Sparks. And I think that really covers it all. I have Krystal. If there's anything else, my website is krystalsparks.com. And I have all of my links and all of that stuff in there. So anything that has to do with me can be found at that website at no charge. It's all free.
The links will be in the description of this fine program. If you want to follow the Dynamo, the RDSA, the Real Deal Sex Appeal, that is Miss Krystal Sparks over here, go out of your way and do so. Links will be in the description. And if you want to subscribe to this YouTube channel, which you should, like, comment, subscribe, do the old shebang. It's Mike Larkin 92. My name, 92, 90s babies, millennials people. It's how we're about. You know what I'm saying? So yes, links will be in the description. Check it out. Do you have any final words, Miss Sparks, for the people, for your fans that have been supporting you since day one on this journey?
Yeah, geez. I do have people who have been supporting me since day one. I love you all so much. Thank you for believing in me, because I have gone through so many different, I don't know, I've taken so many different paths just trying to find out what I want to do. I feel like I'm sort of still doing that. So thank you for sticking with me and loving me no matter what. I appreciate every single one of you. And if you ever want to send me a video, feel free. I actually do enjoy looking and watching. So, fans ask all the time.
Well, that will definitely be kept in mind, like a Jordan Banks song from 2016. I digress. Everything that we get to see, please go out of your way and follow. And shout out to Erica as well. We mentioned the Rub PR earlier. Erica does great work, and we love you, Erica, for what you do, Miss Erica Icon. So with that being said, folks, as I always say to close out this fine program, 2 things. Number 1, life is an art form. We're all applying our crafts. Continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion. And as always, it's a mindset. It's my ideology. Beauty, strength, and dominance. The 3 key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Krystal Sparks, I include you in those sentiments. Go on, girl, and be that badass nurse like a Blink-182 video. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, I know I'm good, but I'm getting better. Like wine, this could have been an email, so don't be wasting my time. Don't be up in my face, don't be all in my space. Ooh. You know they said that everything ain't what it looked like. Now I see it clearer. I used to wonder what it looked like under the lights, and now I see the picture. You really gotta take your time for that. Don't rush into it, baby, just relax. Perhaps it's all in line, please take your time. One step closer and you know, too much noise, you gotta go. 3 steps, 3 times, 3 more than before. Before you know, yeah. I know I'm good, but I'm getting better. Like wine, this could have been an email, so don't be wasting my time. Don't be up in my face, don't be all in my space. Ooh, yeah, I know it's good, but it's getting better. Rewind, this could could have been an email, so don't be wasting my time. Don't be all in my space, girl, I'm up in my prime. You make the money when you still believe in the hype. Definitely needs picture. I count my blessings and I double up on the light. And I was getting bigger. You really gotta take your time for that. Don't rush into it, baby, just relax. Perhaps it's all in line, please take your time. One step closer than you know. Too much noise, you gotta go. 3 steps, 3 times, 3 more than before. Before you know, yeah. I know I'm good, but I'm getting better. Like wine, this could have been an email, so don't be wasting my time. Don't be up in my face, don't be all in my space. Yeah, I know it's good, but it's getting better. Rewind, this could have been an email, so don't be wasting my time. Don't be all in my space, girl, I'm up in my prime.